Hey guys, I'm your host, Rachel Cruz, and you're watching Dave Ramsey's Greatest Hits, where we're looking back at the best moments from the last 10 years of The Ramsey Show on video. For this episode, that includes some conversations we still think about to this day. And I'm talking about heated debates, massive debt, and a situation that even freaked Dave out. So let's get to it.
Violet is with us in Kansas City. Hi, Violet. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so I am just recently engaged, and my fiance, he actually lives in Dominican Republic, so he doesn't have a lot of money. It's like a third world country. I am $42,000 in debt, and I want to get married to him, but I'm just nervous because I know I'm on like step number 2 of paying off my debt, doing the debt snowball, and I'm just wondering if it's a good idea to get married knowing that I will have student loans left to pay.
I don't mind folks getting married in debt at all or having babies while they're in debt at all. None of that is a problem for me. The only problem is if you're not on the same page that we're going to kill the debt.
Right.
And we're going to both work like maniacs to cause that to happen. So has he got a job?
He did have a job as a mechanic, and then for some reason now he doesn't have it anymore.
Some reason? That sounds kind of vague.
Yeah. I mean, his explanation was that their management got hired on new people, so now he doesn't have the job. So that was his explanation.
Okay. And how long have you all been dating?
We've been together for 9 months.
And how old are you?
I'm 23.
And he is how old?
He's 22.
And he's from the Dominican Republic?
He lives there. Mm-hmm.
He lives there?
Yes. We have a long-distance relationship.
Where would you live were you married?
So once we're married, we'll have the process of him coming here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was an auto mechanic in the Dominican Republic.
He's a mechanic on whatever. Like, I'm not sure of like what he specifically did. So there's like the language. I'm learning Spanish. I'm intermediate to fluency, and he doesn't know any English. I know this sounds weird, but my understanding was that he is just basically a mechanic. I've seen pictures of him going to work and all that stuff. I'm not sure what he specifically worked on.
Mm-hmm. How many times have you met him in person?
About 4 times.
Okay.
I go back and forth and travel over there.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, here's some things. I don't mind you getting married. I don't mind him coming here, and he's going to get a job, and you guys work together and make a lot of money and pay off the debt and live happily ever after. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's one option. I am obligated, because of this show, to tell people what I would do if I were in your shoes. I have a 30-year-old daughter and a 34-year-old daughter and a 27-year-old son. So I've got kids older than you, okay?
Yeah.
That are all married. And I've been in the Papa Dave chair, we call it, quite a bit over the years. And so I'm going to change hats from financial guru to Papa Dave and tell you a couple things that I would tell you if you were my daughter, okay?
Okay.
Number one, it has been known to happen that folks who want to come to this country will do anything to get to come here, and anything includes talking someone and conning someone into marrying them. So I'm not saying that's happening, but that flag went up in my head hearing this story. So I want you to just be careful, be wise, and be very aware. Do not be a naive person who gets taken advantage of and you call me back later with a disaster, please. I don't want pain to come to your life, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you watch for that. Number 2, sometimes people from other cultures will work rings around Americans. Their work ethic is 10x of the typical American. Sometimes from people with other culture are hound dog in the sun, lazy on the front porch, don't work much people. Mm-hmm. I'm not hearing things I like in your description of his job and his job loss. I've seen pictures of him going to work. Statements like that scare the crap out of me as Papa Dave for my young daughter I'm talking to, okay?
Yes.
Like, I want some as your surrogate dad here for just a second, I'm not, but I'm just speaking like that, okay? But I want some proof that this young man is a diligent, hardworking young man, and that he didn't lose his job because he was smoking so much reefer he couldn't crawl to work.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know that before he marries you, because I want you to have a good life. So I want you to know that you know that you know that he's marrying you for you, not for an option at citizenship. I want you to know that you know that you know that this young man is a diligent, hardworking young man who's going to serve and love his wife well by working his fanny off once he gets here, and that he has a track record of doing that, not just promises. And you have a language barrier and a culture barrier to figure all this out in. This whole process is fraught with danger. It can work, and it might be okay, and I might be just being paranoid. I do have the gift of cynicism, but but I'm just, this is what I heard in a short conversation, and so did 16 million people listening to this conversation. They're all going, because I wasn't the only one that got scared when you started talking about this. So you got a language barrier, a culture barrier, and a couple of con situations that you need to make sure are not cons before you go forward. If this is a stellar young man and he is all that he claims to be, and he comes here and works his tail off for the good of his family and his wife, you will be just fine. I am not worried about your debt at all. You will work your way through that. I hope you didn't take that wrong, because I did take my muddy boots and walk all through your house there. But that's just what I do, just because I care about you and I want you to win. And I don't want to just drive by this and act like I didn't hear those things, because I heard them. So you be good, and I hope this works out. Please be wise, wise, wise. And wisdom is different than intellect. Please get somebody else in your life to walk with you that looks in on this from the outside, that loves you and that has wisdom. Whether it's a dad, a mom, a sister, a brother, an uncle, a pastor, I don't care. Have somebody look over your shoulder and make sure that you don't have stars, lovey-dovey stars in your eyes and you're blind. Do that for yourself as a gift to yourself. That's what I would tell you if you were my own daughter. I hope that helps you. Well, the Dave Ramsey Show's changed a little over the years. I just used to answer questions from my friends. Now they're all my kids. Okay. That's what happens when you get old and you keep doing a show for 30 years. You guys all used to be my peers. Now with YouTube, they're all 22. Oh, my God. Oh, well, that's what we do here. Hey, I'm going to answer the questions here. If you don't want that kind of advice, if you don't want me to tell you what I think, if I were you, what would I do in your shoes? Don't call, because I'm obligated once you asked. Russ is with us in Salem, Massachusetts. Hey, Russ, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How are you?
I am good. Dave, I posted some things on your website in regard to insurance philosophies you put online. And having been an insurance broker for about 35 years, there are a few misstatements that are on there that I'd like to use the air as a chance to maybe either clarify with you or maybe get some clarity from you on. May I do that?
Sure.
Okay. Number one, you have said on your website that term insurance is the best and the only kind of product people should buy in all instances when they need life insurance. And what I can tell you is that we do not recommend whole life insurance across the boards. We recommend life insurance situationally. There's no two needs, no two situations that are pervasively similar. Okay? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yeah.
Okay. Number two, the cash value that you've talked about is
Wait a minute, did you want me to address that one first?
It's up to you.
Okay.
If you'd like to, I'll be happy to do it one at a time.
Well, you're an insurance agent, obviously, and I disagree when you say there are no two instances that are the same. There are basic principles of mathematics and basic principles of personal finance that are always the same. For instance, I would tell you there is never a time that you would use a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say that you can't convince me that there's certain times you should use a credit card. They suck. They're a bad product. They don't work. And I think the same thing's true of whole life.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's take it a little bit further. Number two, there seems to be some question about the cash value of a life insurance policy as being a bad investment. And I won't get into the issue of performance, but I think the big thing that you need to realize is this. The cash value is not there because insurance companies are creating a standard of return or investment that is deemed to be poor or is deemed to be immovable. The cash value
Then why would you do it?
Policy is there. It's a function of law. It involves.
So why would you put extra money into a policy to create cash value if the cash value has no standard of excellence at all on the rate of return?
Well, you didn't let me finish. Those policies historically get better as they get older. Okay, the cash value of a life insurance policy is a function of state law. It's a function of statutory reserves.
Sure.
And also, from an actuarial standpoint, it's used to keep premiums level indefinitely. Why do you think term insurance is so cheap? Because term insurance does not have or maintain a legal reserve affixed to it.
Well, sure it does. They have to have cash reserves to support. Otherwise, the state won't license the term insurance company. Now, it's a 20-year level term. 20-year level term insurance is about 1/5 or about 1/20th the cost, about 5% the cost of the same amount of whole life is.
You're right, but from an actuarial point of view, whole life is considered to be a product priced indefinitely that does not have.
Yeah, but it never stays in place indefinitely.
That depends upon the person, and that depends upon the situation.
All the research shows that they cash them out like crazy.
Not everybody.
Yeah,
I can tell.
Yeah. The vast majority do. But let's just pretend you kept it for your whole life. Why the flip did you need it for your whole life?
How about some things called estate taxes? There are people who do, when they die, see their family incur a substantial financial loss.
And so in order to cover estate taxes, I need to get ripped off for 60 years in a horrible financial product. That's your theory.
Well, let me just say this. If you talk about the difference of investment, why don't you talk about the difference in, for example, in attorney's fees? There are attorneys who charge $300 an hour versus $700 an hour. You don't tell somebody to invest the difference in legal fees to see if they come out ahead, do you?
Of course I would, if the actual if the actual legal advice was exactly the same.
Well,
if you die, you get paid with term insurance. Your beneficiary gets paid. Pretty simple formula. If you die with whole life insurance, your beneficiary gets paid only the face amount after you've paid 20 times more for the policy.
I can refute that very easily.
No, you can't.
If a policy is arranged properly, a person can receive not just the face amount of the policy, but in addition, they can receive the value of the cash account.
No, they can't. Not unless not unless it's an AB universal, in which case you paid more for it to start with.
No, you do not. That is not true.
Are you talking about paid up additions?
Pardon me?
Are you talking about paid up additions?
No, I'm not talking about paid up additions. Did you ever have something called the fifth dividend option?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What is it?
Well, absolutely. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, the people don't get the cash value. You pay 20 times more, and the cash value is not added on. Now, I mean, you can look at every major whole life company that's out there, and you tell me they get their cash values. They don't get them. Russ, it's a piece of crap.
Listen, are you talking about the beneficiary?
Listen, here's the situation, dude. I can talk to you for the rest of my life, and I'm not going to talk you into not selling whole life.
I'm not even talking about whole life of term. I sell a lot of term, bundles of it.
But you still sell the other crap, too, and you're offended because I said it's crap.
Now, let me ask you another question. Yeah, by the way, for your information, just I'm not arguing with you, but the cash value, the amount of the value on top of the face of the policy can be paid to the beneficiary if the policy is written appropriately.
None of them are written that way.
Well, I've written them that way for 35 years.
No, it just doesn't happen, dude. You and I know that is not how the industry is set up.
Well, believe me, it is. The other thing is, you said that, you talk about whole life as being such a horrible product. And again, maybe in your mind it is, but can I ask you this question? Mm-hmm. Why is that particular product that you think is so deplorable, bought by many publicly held companies and privately held companies to fund buyouts of corporate stock? And
there's a lot of buy-sell agreements that use whole life, and you know why? Because people like you sell that crap to them.
No,
that's exactly why they do it.
Do you know how much?
A simple partnership buy-sell agreement can be funded with term life insurance for 1/20th of the cost.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you know how many publicly held Fortune 500 companies use whole life and the millions of dollars the boards of directors authorize for that
And it's
stuff
really
to fund
sad
executive
that they're all
benefits?
getting screwed at that level.
Well,
It really is, because it's garbage, Russ.
From very prestigious business schools, I think they know a little bit more than the layperson.
Well, they may or they may not. But the bottom line is that at the end of the day, dude, it is the payday lender of the middle class. It's a horrid product. When you pay 20 times more for the same amount of coverage to build up a cash value that you never receive, because when you die, they pay the face amount. James is in Lexington, Kentucky. Hi, James. How are you?
I'm pretty good today, Dave. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Well, got myself in quite a mess right now, and I'm not really sure where to start to get out.
Okay.
To start with, I have currently about $430,000 in student loans.
Good Lord.
Yes, I was in medical school. I had failed 2 sets of boards after 3 years, and then was recently dismissed. And so about 80 of that, 80,000 is from undergrad, and then other courses later on to get into medical school, and the remainder is from medical school. Right now, I have the debt, but no degree that I was planning to use to actually be able to pay that back. So at this point, I don't really know what my options are to try to dig out of this.
You're right. That's a mess. I'm so sorry. That's scary.
It is.
Yeah. How did you get that far into it and then not be able to pass the boards?
I actually did fairly well during the first 2 years, but it was just, I think, being able to, I guess it was one thing to take an exam every few weeks or every month, but being able to retain that and then to recall it to the level of detail that I needed for the exams. I just couldn't put it all together at the end.
Is there any way you can re-engage and still have a shot at finishing?
Not without having to reapply and then go through the process all the way again. And also have to take out more loans.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. What are your when did you flunk the last one?
That was this past spring, and so I was let go this summer.
Okay. So what since then? What has been your plan?
Well, I've basically just been getting by. I was able to find a job, first of all, as a substitute teacher, and I was hired as a high school biology teacher. But my loans are on deferment right now, and I have some forbearance to go. But at this point, I'm not sure any of the other career options. I've thought about, physician assistant, other programs like that, but it requires going into more debt. Because I'm not in a position where I could work and then pay as I go. Plus pay off the current, the loans I've got now too.
Yeah. So what would it take to be a PA from where you are?
I would have to take about another year of classes. I would have to take some other entrance classes, and then 2.5 years for the program itself.
Wow.
And then and that's probably at least another $60,000 to $70,000 in tuition and living expenses.
What about nursing?
It's my undergraduate degree was in biology, and then I did pre-med.
And so none of the med school work you've done applies to anything else.
No, none of it. I have the debt, but none of the courses, none of it actually I can transfer to anything.
Wow. Well, the only thing I know to tell you is to try to assess some kind of a career, and that's what I'm poking at here. I don't know enough about that world to try to help you, but we obviously need to get to the point that we're making some good money to begin to pay this through, right? And so I want to lead you towards something that's 6 figures to try to plow through this with, and or get on maybe with some kind of a hospital type of a company that would do some student loan pay for you as part of your signing bonus, that kind of a thing. Obviously, you're not going to be doing that as an MD, but the PA idea is a good idea, something around the biology or medical field, but I want to move you well beyond high school biology teacher to pay off $430,000 in debt, right?
Exactly. And the other issue, I mean, right now, I'm 34 years old, and so I have all this debt and I have an emergency fund, but no retirement savings, nothing at all. So I don't know.
Well, I'm not worried about that until we address your income.
Okay.
We got to address your career track, which gets you to your income, which solves the debt problem and then solves the retirement problem. I'm not in a panic about that today. I mean, if you were 66, I might be, but you're not. You got time to work through that. You've just got to reset here. Natalie is with us in New York. Hi, Natalie. How are you?
Hi, how are you, Dave? Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up in your world?
So I am recently married, just a few months, and we are talking a lot about our finances. I paid off my student debt a little while ago, and now we have his to work on. And it's $300,000.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Is he a doctor or a lawyer?
He's a doctor.
Okay. So what is your household income now?
Well, it's about $230,000.
Good. So you're going to live on nothing and pay that off real fast, right?
Well, yes, but he's finishing residency, so my income is $150 and his is about like $70 as a resident. So we're looking at job opportunities in two different areas, and they offer one pays about $500,000 more.
One job is $500,000 more?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's in an unideal location, which we would not stay in long term. So we're just wondering if it's worth it to take, a job that pays that much more just to get out of debt quicker and kind of postpone.
Okay, so job number one pays what, and job number two pays what?
About $850 versus $350.
Okay, and you make $150. Would you make $150 at either one of those locations?
Maybe a little less. Maybe $100. I would say.
Okay, so that's kind of either place you'd make about $100. So you'd leave New York City.
Yes.
In either case, and so what is the less than ideal location that's $500,000 more? That's
it's kind of in the tundra. It's up north near Canada.
In Canada?
No, near Canada. It's
okay,
still in
but
the
it's
US.
in the United States.
Yeah, so he's a surgeon. So once he completes training, they offer some of these jobs in underserved areas.
Yeah.
For a lot more money.
Yeah, I never heard of $500,000 more, but I knew underserved would overpay. Mm-hmm. I knew that, but are they asking for a length of time commitment?
Yeah, they asked for 3 years.
Okay, and you would be willing to do the 3 years?
I'm not sure. So I want to know your thoughts.
Well, you already live in New York City. It's not like you live in the South. I mean, you're used to cold weather.
Yeah, but it's just kind of a whole lot of nothingness.
Okay, all right. So there's just not So you're moving to a very rural,
middle of nowhere,
a very rural location versus New York City. So that's a big culture shock. I got you.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I don't know. You got to ask yourself that question. You're going to be making $450,000 in a worst case scenario, right?
Exactly.
And so, my God, I mean, if you can't pay off $300,000 in the first year, somebody ought to smack both of you. If you can't live on
have a lot of stuff.
If you can't live on $150,000, somebody ought to smack you. Really? Don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we haven't bought a house yet. We haven't.
I know you don't need to buy a house. You have $300,000 of student loan debt you need to clean up. So, I mean, if you go make $450,000, I think you're going to work this out. You could be debt free in 1 year, and the next year you buy a house, and the next year, you do some other stuff. I mean, just have a little bit of patience with that kind of shovel. You ought to be able to move anything you want to around. The other way, you come out $1.5 million ahead, $500,000 times 3 for 3 years. But you're in the tundra. You could buy a whole lot of airline tickets out of the tundra and come visit go visit New York City every weekend and come out ahead.
Yeah, because we're a little older, so we were worried about, not having any retirement savings, not having anything yet.
You'll be okay.
So,
You're going to be making $500,000 a year. As long as you don't go spending and do stupid doctor tricks with the money and, go another $400,000 in debt to do something else. But if you guys will just stay debt-free, you're going to have tons of money to invest. You're going to be fine. You start banking $200,000 a year. You know how quick you have $1 million? It's like 4 years. You're okay. You're going to be all right. As long as you don't keep, jack your lifestyle way up. So the only thing I would take the $450,000 cheaper job if you're committed to getting out of debt in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, you need to go do the other one.
I think we could do it in 1 year, maybe two.
I think you can do it in one. I really do. I mean, not plus or minus taxes. Taxes might push you into two. But I don't want you to jack your lifestyle up or start doing a bunch of other stuff till you get this debt cleaned up. No, job one's get the debt gone. Before you do anything else, don't talk to me about buying a house, buying a car. Don't buy anything. You're broke and in debt. Mm-hmm. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Clean that mess up, and then you're free to live the rest of your life and do whatever you want. Now, the only thing that, if Sharon and I were looking at this, my wife and I were looking at this situation, we would consider the Tundra opportunity, but we would put in there a couple $100,000 or $100,000 out of that $500 in travel, and we would just bug out of there virtually every weekend.
Yeah, well, as a surgeon, that's not as easy, I guess. He's going to have a lot of call and everything.
But he's not on 7 days a week.
No.
Okay. So, I mean, just jump on the plane and go. I mean, even if you charter a plane out of there, you can go, you can have a life is my point, and you don't have to define your life as like you're living on the moon and you can't come home.
Yeah.
You can jump on a plane and be anywhere in some period of hours, and just, enjoy some downtime, head down to the Caribbean, head down to Cabo for the weekend. I don't care. Mm-hmm. You can do a lot of that kind of stuff on $500,000 and still come out ahead if you wanted to play that. That's how we would play it. Because I'm like you.
Put away a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty relaxed nowadays, but if I were your age and I was concerned about, New York type of activities, then that's a way to do it, is to budget it and still say, okay, we're going to spend $50,000 on travel a year or $75,000 on travel a year. And that's our way of dealing with the fact that we're in the Tundra and we're making all this extra money for at least 3 years. Mm-hmm. And if you wanted to do that, that's a way to make it palatable. I'm not sure I would. I think if you're making $450, you ought to be okay. And you'll probably make not $450 for all 3 years. You'll probably make $450 the first year. Your income will probably go up. His income will probably go up the second year. So you're probably back up over $500,000 easy between the two of you then. So, but kiddo, whatever you do, get rid of this debt before you do anything else. Do not go buy a house until this debt's gone. Do not go buy a car until this debt's gone. You hear me loud and clear on that. I'm going to call you stupid if you do. Straight to your face. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Well, on every one of my social media feeds for the last 5 days or 4 days since this article hit, people have been exploding. Their brains are frying out of their heads over this article in the Wall Street Journal. Mike Maru has $1 million in student loans. How did this happen? Mike Maru, a 37-year-old orthodontist, made a big investment in his education, and as of Thursday, he owed $1,060,945 in student loans. Mr. Maru pays only $1,589 a month, not enough to even cover the interest, so his debt 7 years at the University of Southern California grows by $130 a day. In 2 decades, his loan balance will be $2 million. He and his wife, Melissa, have become numb to the burden, focused instead on raising their 2 daughters. If you thought about it every single day, Ms. Maru said, you'd have a mental breakdown. Due to escalating tuition and easy credit, the U.S. now has 101 people who owe at least $1 million in federal student loan debt. 5 years ago, it was 14 people. While the typical student borrower owes $17,000, that's not true, it's $37,000. The number of those who owe at least $100,000 has risen to $2.5 million. The government essentially allows graduate students to borrow any amount to cover tuition and living costs, with few guardrails on how the final sum will be repaid. These are choices. We are not coercing, says the dean of USC's Herman Ostrow School of Dentistry, where Mr. Moreau went to school, which is one of the most expensive dental schools in the U.S. You know exactly what you're getting into, says the dean. Dental school is the costliest of higher education programs in the U.S., an average of $71,820 a year. The USC program now costs $91,000 a year and $137,000 when living expenses are included. Halfway through dental school, he said he started to worry about the soaring costs of his education. Why did it take halfway? You're in the most expensive dental school in the U.S. I'm sitting here saying, holy crap, should I really be doing this? Mr. Moreau called. Should I drop out? Miss Moreau, 35, said her husband and her decided it was too late to turn back. If he quit or transferred to a cheaper school, he still owed for the loans he already had. Yeah, so the cheaper school would keep you from doing what? The USC education helped Mr. Moreau earn $225,000 last year. No, being a dentist helped him earn $225,000 last year, working for a corporate practice in Draper, Utah, outside Salt Lake City. That compares with $158,000 median income for dentists. Some dental school educators fear that the eye-popping... Oh, let me help you all with that for a second. That's a misnomer. Let me stop just for a second. The median income for dentists is $158,000, but not for orthodontists, and he's an orthodontist. So let's learn the difference here. It's $225,000. He's not making extra money because he went to USC, where he went to school did not increase his income. He went to the most expensive school, and he makes an average income. Note to those of you who want to go to an expensive school because you say it's going to cause you to make more money. It doesn't. Anyway, moving on. Some dental school educators fear that the eye-popping cost to enter the profession could dissuade good prospects from even trying. Ya think? Dental School's financial aid director estimated that the basic four-year program would require $400,000 to $500,000 in student loan debt. Mr. Moreau and his wife concluded dental school is a good investment. We're like, well, we can make this work. Yeah, made sense to me. They took it out on a lower interest rate. Long story short, the interest rate went up. They got themselves in trouble. A law passed in Congress in 2001 severed the link that tethered student loan interest rates to Treasury rates, and the rates went up, causing him to get into a bigger mess. The one luxury I'm skipping along was buying a used Mercedes-Benz, which carries a payment of $390. The couple then bought a home. Using a $400,000 mortgage Miss Moreau took out in her name. She used an inheritance from her grandfather for the down payment, and her mother co-signed for the loan because she's married to a broke dentist. Mr. Moreau then entered into a government-sponsored repayment program on the loan, where after 10 years his loan will be forgiven. But when you add up everything he's paid in, he will have paid back $1 million even by then. And then you and I will eat the other $1 million roughly. Since refinancing his debt with the federal government in 2015, Mr. Moreau's balance has grown by $150,000. It will keep growing through the 25-year life of the repayment plan until it reaches $2 million. The sum will be forgiven, and at current tax rates will cost him another $700,000 in income tax for forgiveness of debt. The government repayment plan affords the Moreau family a comfortable life. Their home is on a mountain with panoramic views of the snow-capped peaks surrounding Salt Lake City. They take vacations, including a recent trip to Havana, and they drive a used Tesla. Yeah, it does make your head explode. Extreme things like this always do make the news. And obviously this is an extreme thing, but what it does point out is a whole bunch of things. One thing it points out is that you and I are stupid, America. We're stupid because we elected a Congress that allows a student loan program like that to be in place because you and I are getting ready to pay this guy's bill. These are federally insured student loans. The taxpayer insures the student loans. No one else gives unlimited lines of credit to 18-year-olds on unsecured debt except you and me. No banker in his right mind would give this, and bankers loan money like hot potatoes. They'll loan money to a dog that's dead, and they won't loan money to you. But no, you and me, we're so bright. We think that students, college education is so important. And the whole economy would collapse, and America would be a bunch of illiterates if we don't step up and if we don't step up and insure these student loans. So I'm telling you, you need to call your congressman based on this article right here, which wakes you up, and say the federally insured student loan thing needs to stop. You want to stop colleges from overcharging? It's real simple. When nobody goes there because they're too freaking expensive, their rates will drop. But when they have an unlimited supply of money from the government insured by stupid people like you and me and signed up for stupid people like this guy who didn't even add up what his costs were going to be until he was halfway through, this is a whole group of stupid people in a pile. Stupid colleges overcharging, stupid taxpayers that are willing to sign on for this guy, because you and I are going to pay this. Your tax money is paying this guy's bill. Because we're stupid. Because only stupid people loan people like this money. So we're stupid. We guaranteed this loan. It's a federally insured student loan. The student loan program is a freaking disaster. Mike Marew's life is a disaster. So, Mike, you're in Salt Lake City, my man. You're in a hurt. You're in a world of hurt. You've become the laughing stock of America after this article. I'm so sorry. People are probably writing him hate mail like crazy. I'm not going to write you hate mail. I'm not going to pile on. I've done dumb things too.
Okay, you guys, if you had fun with this episode, there's more where that came from. Because up next on Dave Ramsey's Greatest Hits, we've got even more Dave rants. So make sure to check it out and share this video with a friend who you think would enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
I got to talk about something, got to get something off of my chest. So I'm a millennial, and so I keep up with the burgeoning social media trends that are out there, and one of those is TikTok. I do it for you guys so that I know what's going on out there so I can fill you all in. And there's a lot of, how do I say this, financial gurus out there who can't grow facial hair yet, and they are giving some terrible financial advice that truly makes my blood boil. And it's one of the reasons why I want to get in there. I don't want to become a TikTok star. I just have to get in the middle of the mess and walk everyone off the ledge because they're listening to 60-second videos and then making huge financial decisions because of it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a video that producer James found that made my blood boil. He really knows how to push my buttons. We're going to react to it, and then we're going to teach you guys a better way. So let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
When I'm 30, I want to be debt-free and own no credit cards. You know, you might regret that. What? How? Well, how are you planning on getting a house or a car? Yeah, I'm just gonna use all cash. By chance, did Dave Ramsey teach you this? Yes, why? That advice is for people who are already in debt or don't know how to manage their money. The truth is, credit cards can help build your credit, which is very important. And if you pay them off in full, you'll never owe any interest. And with housing prices so high, good credits might be the only way most people are gonna be able to get a house. Now that I think about it, saving up $400,000 in cash doesn't sound very reasonable. That advice might work for some, but personal finance should never be a one-size-fits-all. Follow to learn the truth.
Okay, wow. That moved so fast, I thought I was having a stroke for a second. All right, I don't want to have to watch that again, so let me recap it for you because he was moving pretty fast. He was saying that it is unwise to save up $400,000 cash to get a house and that our advice is terrible. And on top of that, that you need to be building your credit score. You need to be opening that credit card, going into debt, staying in debt, paying it off all perfectly so that you can build that beautiful FICO score. I'm here to tell you that he ended it with learn the truth. Follow to learn the truth. And the truth is that that is a lie. And here's why I know that's a lie, because I have purchased a house without a credit score, and I didn't save up $400,000 cash to do it. And what he's doing is he's playing into the FOMO that a lot of young people feel out there, where they go, man, the Dave Ramsey guy, he wants us to save up and pay cash for a house? That's insane. That'll take me 38 years. Why wouldn't I just put zero down and get in on this, and then I'll get more real estate, and I can leverage more debt, but also I have a car payment, I have student loans, I've got medical bills, and then life crushes you, and you go, well, that advice sounded good in theory, but in reality, I want to have financial peace. And so let me tell you our actual advice when it comes to housing, just to make things clear. Yes, we don't want you to have any debt at all. The only type of debt that we won't yell at you for is a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage where you can put 10 to 20% down, and the payment ends up being no more than a quarter of your take-home pay. That's exactly what I did, me and my wife. In fact, we put more than 20% down because we didn't want to be in debt any longer than we had to. And so we sacrificed, we did side jobs, we hustled for a long period of time in order to put that much down. And then we ended up paying off the house in 26 months. And we did our debt-free scream just a few months back, and it was incredible. On top of that, when we got the mortgage, we did not have a credit score because we had paid off our debt long ago. And that leaves your credit score indeterminable. And so you've all heard that you want to have, 750, 800, 850 perfect credit score in order to go into debt. That's all it is. It's an I love debt score. It's playing kissy face with the bank. And too many young people are learning this, and guess who they're learning it from? Their parents. When they turn 18, the parents go, you got to open a credit card. And they go, why? Well, you got to have the credit score. Well, why? So you can get a car loan, so you can get a massive mortgage with nothing down. Here's what a credit score is made up of. 35% debt history, 30% current debt level, 15% how long you've been in debt, 10% any new debt, 10% type of debt. Are you hearing a theme? Debt. That's right. So, you don't need a credit score to buy a car because we're going to pay cash for cars. I've done it multiple times. It's amazing. They'll actually take your money. You don't need to use credit cards to build your score because we're paying cash for things with our debit card and we're budgeting. You don't need it to rent a car, and I can tell you that because I've done it multiple times. Sometimes they'll just add a buffer. Maybe, let's say, 20% of your total will be added as a deposit on your checking account temporarily. You don't need it to rent a house or an apartment. And I've called all over the country. We did this on the fine print on our credit score episode. And almost every single one said, that's fine if you don't have a score. Now, a low score will hurt you, but no score, that's fine. You just might need to pay an extra, first month, last month, an extra deposit. That's it. And then finally, the big one, you don't need it to buy a house. And our friends at Churchill Mortgage do this every day. It's called manual underwriting or a no-score loan. And they do it like they did back in the old days, where they just look at your actual financial picture. They look at pay stubs, your W-2s, do you pay your utility bills, that kind of thing. And they go, okay, well, based on your situation, we're happy to give you a loan because we know you're going to pay it back. And so that's what we did. And most people are shocked by this. I did a media hit for a news station over in Chicago, and they were just flabbergasted that someone could even buy a house without a credit score. And so we need to start dispelling these myths. And parents, you got to stop telling your kids this. And TikTokers, you got to stop spreading this misinformation because that video has millions of views. And the comments are all very thankful, and they're all going, yeah, that Dave Ramsey guy, man, what a scam artist. Because he tells you to get out of debt and stay out of debt because he wants you to build wealth and have financial peace. So, TikTok at your own risk. I'm not telling you to go there. I'm just telling you if you want some entertainment or you want to get angry, it's a fun place to be.
Today's question comes from Thomas in Maine. Thomas writes, I've done all that I can. Uh-oh, I love it when a sentence starts, something starts that way.
That's pretty definite.
Yep. I've explained to the baby... I need to stop interrupting, but I can already tell you where this is headed. I've done all that I can. I've explained the baby steps without rudeness or anger. I've never tried to control my wife. I helped her pay off 9 credit cards. Everything was fine, and we were on fire until about a month ago. Then my wife started using credit cards we already paid off and just got another one in the mail yesterday. I was told my money is none of Dave Ramsey's business and none of yours. So she's decided it's Christmas time and she's going to do what she wants. My wife has a master's degree in communications, yet refuses to take a job that uses her degree. So instead of her making $3,000 to $6,000 a month, she makes $2,000 a month at a job with no benefits. My wife also has student loans that are now officially none of my business. I'm very confused, very hurt, and angry. My instinct is to give up and end the marriage. This isn't the first money argument we've had, and it won't be our last. I don't see where we are going financially or in our marriage. Am I wrong for being angry about this situation? Whew. Honestly, if Thomas was here and he just said this to me, I would stop. I would take out my headphones, my earpieces, and I would give Thomas a hug. Like, it's just hard. It's just hard. It sounds like he is at resentment, and that's a hard place to be in your relationship. It's a hard place to come back from. Dave, I don't know a lot, but I can guarantee you this isn't about money. This is about something else going on in their relationship.
Oh, this is about control.
Yeah, and power, and explaining.
It's a power struggle.
Yeah,
and it has been ongoing for a long time.
Right.
And so he weaponized me in the process.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you weaponize Dave Ramsey in your house, I'll just tell you it doesn't work, okay? Mm. If you go around and say Dave Ramsey said, nobody gives a crap what Dave Ramsey says. They truly don't. What they care about is information that will change their life. That's what they care about. And they don't care that it came from me. It adds no, it does not, if you turn my name into a cuss word or Ramsey in general into a cuss word in your house, you did not accomplish a thing. And so this is about control. If this marriage is gone, unless you guys get some in-depth counseling, because you are both have crossed the line of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, as Les Parrott talks about in his marriage seminars. One of them is contempt. And contempt, when you reach a relationship with anyone where you look at them with an eye roll, that it means you are contemptuous of them. It means you have completely lost any respect for them. Your need to serve them and love them is just gone. This is all about, I have to tolerate your presence and you stink. You need a bath. It starts to feel that way. That's the way this sounds, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and it's coming both directions, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wife is doing this back.
Yeah, she's completely had it with him. And, dude, you can say, I've done all that I can and explain this with baby steps or without rudeness or anger, and then the last line in the email is, am I wrong to be angry? There's a little inconsistency here. You've been pissed about this stuff a long time. And she has a degree in communications and refuses to use it. That's true. But not about her career. She sucks at communication.
But also, people will cash out their dreams. They will cash out their professional ambitions to prove a point, right? They will drive themselves into debt. You're not going to tell me what to do. Yeah, you said this is about power, and this is about, I'm tired of you talking down to me. This is about, I'm tired of you telling me how I have to do whatever. This is a marriage that is hanging on by
there's been a lot of you should, you need tos in this house. Both of you.
You're gonnas. Yeah.
Both of you, instead of, hey, what if we looked out there and saw a really bright place in the future and we walked towards it together? That's a much more persuasive methodology than, if you'd get a good job instead of working at half of what you're worth, we could clean this mess up, you lazy woman.
Well, if you'd quit talking down to me and explain it's my money, Dave Ramsey can kiss my butt. I mean, and we're just going to do this in circles and in circles and in circles and in circles.
What's our buddy that did the Love and Respect? He calls it the crazy cycle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It builds on itself, and it just spins out.
It's a tornado. That's right.
It spins out. Yeah. It's, what is it? Elder. Yeah. Elder. Gosh, I'll have to go look it up. Love and Respect is a great book. It's a great marriage book.
So, Thomas, this is when I talk to somebody in your situation.
Bad. Yeah.
Yes, and you've got to stop the fight. This is when you walk in and you lay down your sword, you lay down your shield and say, I'm not fighting you anymore. Because this isn't about a fight. This is about getting on the same page.
Yeah. If we can't get on the same page, this is over.
This is a civil war, and we're just shooting grenades at each other, and we're going to end up killing our family and our friends and our neighbors.
In the Civil War in the United States, family shot family.
That's right.
And that's what
friend shot friend. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Stop fire. Don't fire another weapon.
Yeah.
Just go sit down on her side of the couch and say, let's fix this together.
You're not wrong to be angry, but it's not working for you.
Yeah. Stop explaining.
You guys are going to get some help. You're in eye roll. You're in contempt. It is one of the four things that ends relationships permanently. Contempt is very hard to come back from. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Larry Burkett used to be on the air 1,000 years ago. Did a Christian radio show. Money Matters, it was called, about what the Bible says about money. And he's one of the guys I learned from. I certainly learned what the Bible says about money from Larry a lot. He passed away several years ago. We became friends before he passed away, but at first I was just a fanboy. And he used to say, debt is never the problem. Financial problems are never the problem. They're always the symptom. So you need to keep that in mind, because that's how we're going to view it. Personal finance is 80% behavior. It's 20% head knowledge. So if you have a student loan debt that you've made no progress on for 5 years, the student loan debt is not the problem. The new triplets that just came were not here for the last 5 years. They're not the problem. The interest rate is not the issue. This is not an interest rate issue. This is a you problem. And John, when people get to the bottom of that, that's the beautiful thing about the work you do in counseling, with a PhD in counseling, and the work that the reason you joining this team as a Ramsey personality is a perfect overlap to our approach to money, because the interest rate is irrelevant because you haven't dealt with you. That's the thing. When you deal with you, you're not only going to get financial peace, two words that don't go together like airline service, but you're also going to get progress and wealth. Until you deal with you, you're not going to get any of that.
Right. And it's hard to sell somebody on that when they're so convinced from a TikTok ad or TikTok's swipe or whatever, where they got the information. And I think a lot of us sit in our house, man, and we just spin out with life's problems. I can't imagine having triplets just show up after having a couple of other kids. Whatever your problem happens to be, you lost your job, your marriage is falling apart, whatever it is. And it's so much easier. We have so much distraction in our world. We can just spin our wheels and jam that gas pedal into the bottom of the car, thinking we're going real fast, and we're going nowhere. We're just avoiding.
But money is such an interesting topic because it lets us, it lures us to our own death, because it makes us think we can fix it by fixing the math. And the math is very seldom the problem. The math is the symptom. It's not the problem. The problem is our spending, our income, our lack of control, our lack of working together.
Our choices. Just I'm going to keep these for 5 years.
Our behaviors and our principles by which, but we somehow think we can unplug from all of this stuff that's called our life and set this money thing over here to the side and just fix it with just math. But and the reason you can't is it doesn't unplug. It's sitting there right in the middle of your freaking life, because your life is impacting it. It's impacting your life. You can't just set it over here in a test tube and go, it's a math thing, 6% versus 0. It's not a math thing.
And I want to speak to the person who's listening to this, or to the gajillions of people who are listening to this, who are 5 years from today away from triplets, or a job loss, or a mom calling and saying I have cancer, or a husband saying I haven't been faithful, or whatever the thing is. That choice starts now. Because 5 years ago, if they had been hell-bent on paying these things off, life would still be chaotic. But I want people to listen to that man's voice. It just sounds cooked, right? It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
You can celebrate the chaos of 3 kids coming home, or not be able to breathe because you can't. There's no room for 3 kids.
I remember when our oldest daughter Denise had the third one, her husband Bill said, well, we just went from man-on-man to zone defense.
My buddy said, man, it was all cool till we went from man-to-man to zone. And they win.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Jill's with us, Tacoma, Washington. Merry Christmas, Jill.
Merry Christmas, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up? How can I help?
It's the same. Okay, Dave, I got a question. I want to see if I made a dumb decision, basically.
Okay.
So I purchased a vehicle, and I'm debt free. I'm in baby step 4.
Good. Did you pay cash?
And I paid partial cash for the vehicle. I paid for it. I was purchasing it after hours from my bank, so I couldn't give them the remainder. So they did like a 1-day purchase order to where I wired them the remainder of the cash.
Oh, I see.
However, I purchased the extended warranty.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to see if it was I'm trying to basically see if I've kind of spoiled myself with this purchase, but I want to see if it was a smart idea. I purchased a BMW, and I have the cash to pay for it all.
Good.
So I'm just trying to see if it's smart to get this extended warranty and pay cash for the remainder of it, or should I forego that and kind of, I guess, take the risk for the repairs. So to my understanding, after researching, the repairs can be pretty expensive. And even though I have cash piled up for that, I don't know if that is the smartest thing to do.
So what did you pay for the car?
I paid $25,000 for the car.
Okay. And what's your household income?
$66,000 gross.
Okay. All right. And you're single?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, it's less than half your annual income. You paid cash for it. Got any problem with that? And you said you had cash piled up to cover the repairs. What is the cash piled up to cover the repairs?
I have about $40,000 to cover repairs. Okay. But I don't know if that's enough.
It's a $25,000 car. You can buy another one if you had to.
So
you follow me?
I was thinking the same thing, but I'm more of a saver.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
Yeah,
so you've done a good job. You've done a good job. Buy the car and pay cash. And have you heard me talk about extended warranties before?
I heard you talk about how you're not really a fan of them.
Okay. Do you remember why?
I think it's because you said you won't use, I guess it'll pay for itself or something like that. I can't remember word for word. But
okay. Well, let's walk through it, and I'll explain it, and then
give me a brief.
Well, then you can decide. Okay, let's walk through it, because it's good for everybody else to listen to. That's why we do this.
Okay.
All right. If you and I were to open an extended warranty company, and we wanted to sell extended warranties on BMWs that are $25,000, here's what we would do. We would look at the items that we're going to cover with the warranty, the transmission, the engine, the brakes, the suspension, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. And then we would do statistical analysis to determine if we cover 1,000 cars like that, what are we as a warranty company on average going to have to pay out on these cars that breaks, right?
Okay.
So we need to know what it's going to cost us if we're the warranty company to provide the warranty coverage. And that's a statistical analysis of looking at actual repair records on actual BMWs that are $25,000. Okay? Does that make sense?
That $25,000 is including the warranty.
I know.
By the way.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Then, okay, good.
All right.
But whatever. I'm using this as an example. All right?
Oh, no worries. No worries.
So if we figure out that it costs us on average X number of dollars per 1,000 of these cars we cover, then that's our cost of running our warranty business. Do you understand?
I follow.
Okay. On top of that, if we want to stay open, we have to be able to pay the building rent, the electricity, and the secretaries. That's called overhead. So we would take what it costs us that we would have to pay out on the warranties if we own the company. We would add overhead to it. Okay? We would also want to make a profit, so we would add profit to it. Right?
Yes, sir.
And by the way, it happens to be with car extended warranties that they very seldom are the actual car company. That's a third-party company. And so we're going to pay the guy at BMW lot some marketing dollars, commission, if he sells our warranty for us. Okay?
All right.
Now, if you add that commission, the profit, the overhead, and the actual cost to cover the car together, you have your premium for the extended warranty. Okay?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now, what's interesting is that 12% of that per $100, $12 per 100 or $120 per $1,000 of your warranty actually goes to cover the cost of the car breaking. The other 88% goes to profit, overhead, and commissions.
Okay.
So, in other words, if you bought a $1,000 extended warranty, your actual coverage statistically is around $120 worth of repairs on average.
Because
Now,
that 88
you
goes
could
to
have a $10,000 repair, but you're the customer they lost money on then, right? So the point is that you don't have to, by the time you do all the repairs yourself, you will come out around 8 times better off on average. If you have an average number of repairs, like the average per 1,000 cars, right? If you'll come out about 8 times better off having self-insured through the repairs, meaning don't buy the extended warranty, because 12% is 1/8 of 100.
Okay.
So 8 times more money. You're paying 8 times too much to fix your car when you buy an extended warranty, on average. And if that's not true, the extended warranty company goes out of business because they can't pay their secretaries, they don't have any profit, and they can't pay their commissions. Does that make sense?
Okay. That makes sense. Thanks for breaking that down for me.
So cancel the extended warranty part of the transaction, save that money, and buy this car and enjoy this car. Which Beamer is it?
It's a 3 Series 328i, and I've been saving for it.
What year is it?
Years. 2014.
That is a great car.
Thank you, sir.
That is a fabulous.
I thought so too.
It's a fabulous vehicle. It's got a lot of spunk. It's got a great drive. Rachel and Winston just bought one, and it's a great car. And that little 3 Series has always been a good car. This latest version of it is one of the best cars BMW's ever built, as far as I'm concerned. They build a good car, but I'm a car guy. I don't have one right now, a Beamer, but that particular vehicle is a great car. You bought a good car. It is going to be more costly to repair than a Ford or a Chevy because it's a Beamer. Just count on that. It's part of the pleasure of owning a more expensive vehicle. You can afford it. You cover your own repairs. Really good question. Thanks for joining us, and Merry Christmas to you. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
My question is, how should I feel about a prenup? I know your stance on prenups, and I know kind of, extreme circumstances, and I believe kind of like my circumstance is kind of extreme on both ends. So a little bit about my background. I'm currently 28. I followed the baby steps through and through, currently on 3B. I make about $300,000 a year, and that's divided up into about $100K in retirement, $100K for a down payment, and $25,000 to $35,000 in just a bank account, checking account for an emergency fund. Mm-hmm. So my question, so I'm getting married in June to my wonderful fiance. And her family is extremely wealthy. And although I do not, and her parents and grandparents are extremely wealthy. So, they are, apparently I'm supposed to be signing a prenup, obviously before the marriage, and we're going to go over that. And my question to you is, how should I feel about that, as well as, what to look for in a prenup? Like I don't necessarily know what questions to ask my lawyer. And just one last thing is, my income could be going from, to 400, 500 plus over the next 2 to 3 years, annually. So yeah, that would be my question.
Yeah. Wow. How old is your fiance?
I am 28. She is 25.
Does she have any money?
No.
And you didn't ask her for a prenup.
I have not.
So
no.
The prenup was for the potential inheritance.
The prenup is for the potential inheritance. I have not had a sit-down discussion with them.
When did the prenup discussion come up? After you were engaged?
It was after we were engaged.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, but I kind of had an idea. I don't know the specifics on their net worth, but they are extremely, extremely wealthy.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. The only way I know how to answer a question is what would I do if I woke up in your shoes? Okay. When my children were married, my net worth was in excess of $100 million already at that point, and none of them signed a prenup. And we didn't. And we didn't ask them to. None of my in-laws sign a prenup, and we didn't ask them to. Now, I have my estate plan set up to where certain things are controlled only by Ramsey blood in trusts, so you can't get to them in the event of a divorce. Thing number one. Thing number two, I just not that guy, so I'm not worried about it. This is God's money. I'm managing it. I figure he can take care of it. I understand their concern. If you were, if you're making $30,000 a year or something, it would be more of a concern. But it's, frankly, it's a little bothersome if I'm in your shoes. And not enough to cancel the whole thing, but it's troubling that these people, obviously they want to protect what they built and make sure it goes to their kids. Let me ask you, here's another thing I would want to find out, and I don't know. In most states, the divorce stuff we've been involved in on the financial side, an amount of inheritance generally in the event of a divorce goes to the person that inherited the money. They don't split it in most states. So if you inherit your mama's house and you get a divorce, you get your mama's house. You don't split it with your ex in most states. Okay. Now, I don't know Missouri law, and I'm not a lawyer, but I've experienced that in, being called in the middle of divorce situations when we're helping negotiate and all that. I've experienced that to be the facts that the judge or the statutes award that way. So I would learn about that in Missouri. Number one, they may have that protection built into the law, is what I'm saying. And then you've just got to decide how much you care about this issue. Because I don't think, and what this issue means. What does it mean to your relationship? What does it mean to the family you are marrying? Because you're marrying her and her family. And so, it's really low class that this came up after you made a contract to get married. They bring up, but by the way, after you've gotten a contract to get married called getting engaged, we're going to add something to the terms of the contract after you've already signed it. That's low class.
I'm curious, Josh, what does your fiance think? How does she feel about this? Is she completely in line with their parents, or does it make her feel weird? What's going on here?
To be honest, I mean, she's the oldest of 4 daughters total, and they're awesome families, super down to earth people, but they've not never really had to work or
You're not answering my question, and you're being really nice because you're a classy dude. I'm going somewhere with this. How does she feel about it? When it came up, what was her comment on this deal?
She understands. She understands it. I mean, what I was getting at is she just doesn't really have, she doesn't know.
So she's okay with it. My point is, it wasn't a head tilt or a red flag or yellow flag. It was just like, oh, okay. Is that what I'm hearing?
She does what she's told.
Exactly.
Okay,
yes.
that helps.
She listens to her parents. Yeah, she listens to her parents. Well,
that makes this relationally a little bit more difficult. Had she had the same feeling, the yucky feeling you had, I assume you have a yucky feeling about it. Is that, or am I making the wrong assumption?
Well, I just go back to what you guys feel about prenups, and it is an extreme situation. But I don't,
it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good. Do I need to do anything on my end?
What else is going to come up after you're married that they tell her what to do?
Well, the one other thing was the one other thing is apparently so the family are in development, so they're big into real estate, and they build houses and have a lot of land. Another thing is apparently they're going to be building us a house and putting it in a trust to where we don't have a payment.
Apparently?
And
this has all been decided.
Apparently? Wait a minute. This is my freaking house. There's no apparently.
Yeah.
I'm involved in the decision.
I think this ought to be premarital counseling.
Yeah.
I'd bring it up with your fiance.
I'm shooting up flares now. I think the two of you need to sit down with a pre-marriage counseling, and you're getting married in June.
Ugh.
This family has problems with leaving and cleaving.
Yeah, that's right.
Ken, I know this about me. I really like to be in control.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. I know this about me, and I know this about wealth.
Yeah.
that as you add wealth, it makes you more of what you already are. And so having some money has given me the ability to control a lot of things in my life. Yeah. The variables. I don't have cars that break down anymore because they're nice ones. I used to drive crap when I was broke, and I was broke down on the side of the crappy road in the crappy car and my crappy life, and I hated it. I hated it because I felt out of control and desperate and freaked out. And so now I drive cars that don't break because I got some money by doing the stuff we teach here. And I also know that that control, in that sense, controlling the variables, control the controllables, that's a good feature, but I'm also well aware that it can be a bad feature.
Yep.
You've probably seen that.
I cannot recall. I cannot recall.
You are so full of crap.
Well, that's also a great demonstration on what you do in that situation.
Yeah,
just go Congress.
Just
act like a congressman.
Yeah.
I cannot recall.
Do nothing.
Yeah, no, no. In all yes, but in a situation like that where we've seen it, you snap back because you are healthy.
Well,
what
I had to face, easy. The hardest parenting I've ever done in my life. Oof. The hard, because when they're little, you just freaking tell them what to do. And if you don't do what I say to do, I'll take you out and make another one look just like you. Okay, so you're going to do what I say to do. I'm in charge. The inmates are not in charge of the asylum. When they're like grown and paying their own bills and stuff, you don't get to do that anymore, I heard. It's a rumor. So like when they leave and get married and stuff, it's a problem for control people.
Right.
And control people with money like me, sure, it's a real problem. So I've had to read like Henry Cloud's book, Boundaries. It's like every weekend I have to read the whole book again.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I invade my grown children's boundaries because I have the money to control and tell people what to do, and I'm used to people doing what I tell them to do, and my grown kids don't always do what I tell them to do.
Yeah.
It's just shocking. It's just shocking. It's called, reasonable relationships. And sometimes when people get money, maybe the last caller situation, sometimes when people get money, it makes them more of what they already are, and they learn to control the variables. That's how they get money, which is good.
That's right.
It's a good part of control. But then you try to control your kids' lives. And we're going to give you a house, but we're really not going to give you a house. We're going to put it in a trust so we can take it back if we change our mind. And we're going to give you some money, but we're really not going to count the fact that you got married because you don't really get to count that. You just are you. And, we're going to, you could real simply in any state leave the money into a trust. And the only people who have access to the trust are blood relatives. And so the spouse or soon to be ex-spouse, if there's a problem, you have a built-in.
Yeah, that's wise.
You have a built-in thing there, like the stock for the Ramsey Solutions Company. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's held in the Ramsey Family Children's Trust.
Right.
And the definition of that trust, one of the absolute pieces is that if they get divorced, they're not going to get the company, okay? Which is, they shouldn't.
That's right.
Okay, they shouldn't get it. But that does away with the need for a prenup. And so I guess I'm still controlling, but I'm not over there in their daily business telling them how to pay their bills.
Well, okay, so let me, as the outsider here in the scenario.
I don't know how that's different than what I just griped about. Maybe it's the same thing.
No, it's not. No, it's very different. I'll tell you why. Because what you did was you put it in a trust, and this is the Ramsey family business. It's a family business, and it takes it off the table. What you did not do was force a signed agreement. See, this is a boundary issue. And so
I didn't do it after the engagement.
That's
if I
right.
was going to thump one of them, it would have been when they were sitting at coffee going, "Can I marry your daughter?"
Right.
I'm like, no.
Right. But here's the problem with the last call. This is a 25-year-old. I believe she's 25, he's 28, I believe somewhere in that range, or maybe 23, 25. Here's the deal. They should have, being super wealthy the way they are and having controlled the environment, and they've set her up and all those assets.
They should have their crap together.
They should have already let her just grow up. And the thing is she's got to learn how to figure life out on her own. And the fiance very kindly said, she's pretty much just had everything dictated to her like a menu. Like, this is what your life is going to look like. And that's not reality. So I think the concern on that last call, Dave, is less about the money. I think it's more about their role in her life, which
that's
is
what
going to.
I'm talking about.
I know you are, but I just think it's that simple that the money thing is the smallest piece of it. They're very, very out of control with their influence.
It sounds like they are. My point is that I could do that. mean, I'm one eyelash away from being the same exact thing. I mean, I'm not that far off, really.
That's right, because it could teeter to unhealthy quickly.
But the truth is, it's so easy to be who you is in spades when you got a few dollars. Yeah. You know, you get to be who you is. Nobody bother you on that. Yeah. And if who you is telling everybody what to do, including your grown kids, then wow. And so, no, I told Winston when he married Rachel, she's your problem, man. That's it. This one's got drama, man. You just better be ready. And so she's your deal, man. And don't come crying to me.
And they've
don't
done
come
it.
crying to me. And Rachel, don't you come crying to me either. You talk to him. He's his problem. You're his problem.
And let me tell you that I've done it. I mean, they're good friends. We do dinner outside. They're legit.
They're legit. They're standalone.
They're healthy and they're figured out. If I was this young man, I would bring it up as we can't go forward, and then I'd bring it to a therapist and I'd say, babe, I can't do this. That's how strong of a position I would take, because she needs to decide what she's doing.
Yeah, and I guess the point is that
scary.
One of the things that always comes up when I'm coaching with wealthy people, I was with about 60 of them in a room for a day and a half the other day, and the main concern they have is, how do I keep my wealth from destroying my kids?
Mm-hmm.
I've worked so hard to get this, and now I don't want this wealth to destroy my children, to make them useless human beings, okay? And so my answer is, don't raise useless human beings. Raise human beings who know how to work, who know how to sacrifice, who know how to serve, who are humble, not self-centered, they're not entitled, they're not brats. And by the way, they know how to work. Did I mention that? And they know how to work. Did I mention that?
Yeah.
And
by the way, a simple way to get all of that.
Joy and dignity comes from work. So raise kids that do that, and then be ready for this very difficult. And I'm saying it was hard. It's hard for me, almost daily or weekly. It's not. I don't get a vote in their house. And it pisses me off down inside.
I can tell.
I really want a vote. I really want to tell these people what to do.
I feel it right here, actually. The energy is coming over.
But I'm just saying,
this way.
it's a human thing. I'm not.
It's absolutely
I'm not. My point is, the other family, whoever they are, they're probably great people. I completely can resonate with their motivation.
Yeah.
Their tactical implementation of their motivation sucks.
Which I want to weigh in on that. All the things that Dave just said to raise good kids, can I tell you, it starts with just allowing them to experience hardship and pain.
Yeah.
The data is coming out. I'm reading like crazy. I'll spare you all the data. I could nerd out on it for 20 straight minutes, but I'm telling you, over and over, the message is coming back. We have removed the obstacle of hardship and suffering. We, meaning Gen X, my parents, the boomers, Gen X, we're all guilty of it. And I'm telling you,
we wanted to make it better for our kids.
I know, but to make it better is to make them tougher. And what you do with your kids, and I can speak to all three of them because I know them.
They need a callus.
You allowed them to experience hardship. They had to work for it. They went through stuff. And so all of a sudden, see, here's the deal. Massive money creates massive ease. And massive ease, absent of hardship, makes soft, entitled people. And that's where the money can really be dangerous in this situation.
God, I feel soft and entitled right now.
No, you're not. You're the antithesis of it.
Completely soft and entitled.
You're like the human callus, Dave. You're tough. You're tough, man.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. %100% of your credit score is based on you interacting with debt. Your FICO score is not determined by you winning financially. Your boss could walk in today, she's not going to, and say, you now make $1 million a year, and your FICO score will not change 1 point. The phone could ring, and your grandmother could say your rich uncle that you didn't know you had just died and left you $10 million, and your FICO score will not change 1 point. Your FICO score is not a sign you are winning with money. It's a sign you have played kissy face with the bank. It is based on the debt that you have, the debt load, the type of debt, the length of time you've had the debt, the ratio of the debt to your income, how you have paid the payments on your debt. It is an I love debt score. Mathematically speaking, the algorithm says that the way to have a 750 or 810 FICO score, the only way to have that is to really, really love debt. You have to keep a lot of it, and you have to pay it. It will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over a decade to build a FICO score and keep a FICO score of 800 because it's the only way that FICO score is calculated. It is not an I'm winning with money score. It's an I love to support the bank because they're so awesome score. In other words, it's dumber than a freaking rock. So here's what happens. When you quit borrowing money, and you've paid off all of your debt, and you don't have a single account open, your FICO score will disappear within about a year. As a matter of fact, they will treat you like you have moved to Mars, like you have one eye in the center of your head. Your FICO score is now undeterminable. Ooh. You mean you can't determine that I haven't borrowed money? I think it just means it's zero, but it's undeterminable.
Ooh.
It's like going to the airport. It's a terminal. I don't want to do things that are terminal. I want to do things that bring me life. If they say you have terminal cancer, that's not good, but we go to the airport and we call it a terminal. Undeterminable. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Sounds spooky.
It's a problem. So years ago, I quit borrowing money, so I haven't had a FICO score in like 30 years. I'm not really here. I'm off the grid. This is actually a hologram. I don't really exist because according to you people, I don't have a FICO score, so I'm a nobody. But according to my banker, I'm a nobody with millions of dollars in her bank. And I still have a zero FICO score, a undeterminable FICO score. And guess who just joined the club?
It's my zero FICO score day.
Woo!
Woo! We sold our house in May. It took about 5.5 months, and my FICO score is 0.
That was your only debt.
Yep.
And you sold the house. The mortgage is gone.
Yep.
You're a renter.
Yep.
Temporarily right now until you figure out the housing market and what you're going to do. And from May to basically end of November, beginning of December, I have not had a single piece of activity and zero accounts open of any kind and no lates on there and no bad debts on there, obviously. And that's how long it took for your FICO score to evaporate.
Yes, it's gone. And it's so funny. The email was basically like, oh, we don't know what happened. This happens sometimes, but we can help you correct it.
Yeah, sometimes horrible things happen to people, and we're here to help. We're from FICO.
Right. You're debt-free? Wait, what? We can help you get back in debt.
You haven't made offerings to the great gods of FICO. You need to make offerings of interest. Oh, great FICO, you are the provider of all good things. We bring you offerings of interest so that we can buy anything we want on credit later. So you borrow money. Why? So that your FICO score goes up. Why? So that you can borrow more money. So why? Because your FICO score goes up. So why? So you can borrow more money. I had a dog that used to chase its tail, and he was crazy. And this culture does it every day. And you're free.
I'm free. Man, it feels good. It's kind of nerve-wracking, when you're in that process of waiting for it to go to zero.
Because we were talking about this about a month ago. You're going, are you sure it's going to go away? And I'm like, I'm not sure of anything with FICO, except that when you quit borrowing money, eventually they're going to cause you to say you don't exist.
Yeah. I was like, Dave, how long? How many more weeks? How many more months? And he was just just stay the course, Christina.
I said, I think it's going to be a year. Because at that point, so what is it, 7-8 months?
Yeah.
Something like that for it to go away, right? 7 months. 7 months, yeah, for it to go away before. And it went down before that.
Yeah, it had a good 100
What did it start at? Up in the 700.
Yeah, 700 range.
Yeah, all right. And it's because you paid your mortgage on time, you paid everything on time, and then you got out of debt, and then you sold the house. And so you went from 700. So you had a fabulous, by all standards, FICO score, and it eroded. It went down to 600s.
Yeah. And we're still in the house.
Did it go into the 500s?
I mean, I wasn't
You
checking.
were checking
I
it.
was just waiting for my
checking it 'cause
zero.
You're asking me about it. It's scaring me. It's getting low.
Well, I was just waiting for emails. I was waiting for the email that said 0. And so they sent me an email saying that it had been updated. And so I was like, ooh, it's 0. And then I went and it was like 600. And I was like, oh, being in the housing market, that's kind of nerve-wracking.
That's exactly what we're talking about. Someday I want to buy a house, and I can't do that with a 600. When's this thing going to go to 0, Dave? And I'm like, all the data that we have, all you people out there that we work with, all the stuff you send us, everything we keep up with from you guys, the research, we don't know because FICO doesn't publish their algorithms, right? They don't tell us what the thing is, but just observing people that have done what you do, it takes 6 months to a year, and yours took 7 months.
Yep. Followed the path.
And George had a 0 FICO score, went and got a mortgage with manual underwriting with Churchill Mortgage. And so if you're going to go get a mortgage with Churchill Mortgage and you have a 0 credit score and undeterminable, they will write you a mortgage, and it's exactly the same rate as if you had a 700 or an 800 FICO score. Only they have to do stuff like do manual underwriting. So they have to verify that you have money with your bank. They have to verify that you have a job, which is what they ought to freaking be doing anyway. What are you doing, giving people a loan based on one number? I'm going to loan you $800,000 for a house. Why? Because you have one number that says FICO, FICO, FICO.
Oh, that's so crazy. It's crazy how our system rewards debt and people who are doing
It's more than rewards it. I mean, by God, it manipulates it and causes it. People just, because I've been doing this for 30 years. The amount of hate mail and hate crap I get to this day telling people to not borrow money and get rid of their stupid, kissy face, I love debt score is crazy. I'm keeping my credit cards open because Dave Ramsey doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, he's only got several $100 million, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. God, man, it's dumber than a rock. Just dumber than a freaking rock.